Hey, what's going on, fellow horror movie fans? You already know who it is. It's your favorite horror movie sweaty, your boy Mikey Savage 21, back from the grave for another discussion. And today we're going to be looking at the most recent picks that came out for the new Cult of Chucky film. Now, basically what I'm going to do here is we're going to look through the films and I'm going to speculate and give my thoughts and opinions on what I think these photos mean for the upcoming film. So, there and again, spoiler alert, just in case some of my predictions are true. Alright, so the first photo we're going to be looking at is just a still image that they released from Andy Barclay. And we were able to get some more information about Andy Barclay straight from the director himself, Don Mancini. And he basically said that Andy's role would be significant in the film, that he's going to have a bigger role, greater than what he had in the last film, which was Curse of Chucky, which was just limited to a short cameo. So this is what he directly had to say. Andy is in this movie quite a bit, actually. I'm consistently musing what could happen if these characters collided. What kind of PTSD would Andy Barclay be dealing with 30 years later? If you imagine that this is really happening in our world, what would Andy Barclay be like? What would his life be like? Stuff like that is very interesting to me. So it's fun to get to explore that and put that on screen. Alright, so basically what he's saying here is he said he's really looking forward to Andy being having a quite significant role in this film like he did in the first two films. And we're basically going to explore his backstory a little bit more about how all of this affected him from his childhood to how he is now. Was he able to have successful relationships? Is he able to have kids of his own? Is he still dealing with the effects of what Chucky did to him as a child? And so we're basically going to get to explore that. And if you think of that in terms of a real world setting, it's kind of interesting because let's just imagine for a second that you have a killer doll that stalked and terrorized you all throughout your childhood and technically through your preteen years as well. You still have dealt with this all these years. Your mother was institutionalized and they called her a liar and everything. Then the man who backed you up, Detective Norris, he was also labeled a crackpot and probably was ultimately discharged and fired from the service as well. And so you have other survivors of Chucky's impact and what him and his wife and what his kids have done to people. But you gotta imagine that in real time settings, how would that affect someone? How would you be able to deal with that kind of situation? I know for me personally, it'd be kind of hard to deal with, especially I'd be constantly looking over my shoulder wondering if today is the day where he's gonna come back and try to take me out again, because I still know his ultimate secret. And if you're still talking about it to other people, or you're gathering the other survivors of Chucky's rampage, then you know, you gotta imagine what would those other people be feeling like. So I can't wait to see what they do with Andy in this. Alright, so in another image we received, we have the good guy doll, and it's being held by Jennifer Tilly, who is basically actually Chucky's bride, Tiffany. If you guys do not remember, Tiffany had her soul transferred into the real life body of Jennifer Tilly in Seed of Chucky. At the end, if you stayed, you got an extended scene. If you bought the Blu-ray DVD, or DVD I believe, then you also got an extended scene of that, of her actually transferring her soul in there. Her eyes changed from one color, I think they were like brownish black, they changed from that to the green Tiffany color, signifying that Tiffany is now in Jennifer Tilly's body and she's just living out the life of Jennifer Tilly as a celebrity and an actor like she really wanted to in the end of Seed of Chucky. And so the new image that they released is basically, again, Tiffany having a very creepy looking face holding the good guy doll, the new image of the good guy doll. Now I've already gave my thoughts on the new good guy doll when I did the breakdown of the trailer, but I kind of like the look of the new doll. I think it's kind of cool. I kind of miss the old look of the doll. This kind of looks like it's more of a modern version of the doll, where the doll has been consistently upgraded and changed. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, because you know Chucky has to grow with time. I mean, he can't stay the same forever. But there's not really too much going on in here. Again, you just have Tiffany in a little bit of a red outfit, and she's sitting here looking very creepy and very menacing with Chucky in her lap. I imagine this looks like this might be going on inside the asylum at some point. Maybe she actually is interviewing for a job, or maybe she's an assistant or something there at the actual institution, and that's how the whole Andy's trying to sneak in and trying to help out Nika, and maybe she's the one who tells the doctor, hey, maybe you ought to try this good guy doll therapy or something like that. She might be the one pulling the strings and manipulating the doctor. As we saw in the trailer, he brought out a good guy doll for everyone everyone to interact with. Well, what if Jennifer Tilly was basically the one behind all of that? What if she was the one who orchestrated this whole entire thing? It's kind of interesting to think about when you think about it. So the next image we have here, it's a strange image that leaked out. It's basically Chucky's right hand, and in this particular shot, Chucky's holding a canister of compressed oxygen, and it looks like he's about to take out the Asian descent. Looks like he's about to take out one of the ladies. And his hand looks very abnormal. It basically looked like it's deformed and monstrous. And this is like a far away shot of it. And then if you look a little bit closer at his hand, what's going on with his hand? I mean, I honestly do not know what to say about this hand. I mean, this could have honestly been an image mistake, but if this was an actual image that was actually released from the movie or something that they put out for the press material, what could this mean? Now, we saw in the trailer that there might be hints of multiple dolls, so maybe other people are having their souls transferred into the doll possibly and having it being corrupted by Chucky's spirit, and some of the dolls are mutating themselves and they're not able to basically stay within that doll body for long, and it's rejecting the body. Or this could be a dream sequence. We see the lady is strapped to the bed, so honestly this could be a dream sequence. We saw that they're going to play with the psychological aspect of this movie as well, because again, they're inside an institution. Maybe she's having a nightmare sequence where Chucky apparently has appeared, hence the clawed, deformed hand and everything, because she might see him as this monster, as this demon, and he's about to apparently inject her with this compressed oxygen and kill her. So it could be a dream sequence. It could be the soul maybe starting to reject the body and it's starting to mutate in horrible kinds of ways. I don't know, but it's very interesting. I want to say it's the most interesting photo that we have here in these recent images, because again, the hand itself just looks so weird. And again, this could ultimately just be a mistake on the studio's part. Maybe it's an unfinished hand and they haven't finished the shot yet, but I'm inclined to think it's more than that. Alright, so the next image that we have is Tiffany's original doll body in the back seat. I don't really think it's that big of a deal. I mean, you know, I'm guessing this is basically just a nod to the fans of like, hey, look, there's the original doll body. I don't think the doll is necessarily going to come into play at some point. Maybe it'll come in form of a scare factor or some form of that nature. Alright, so the last couple of images that we're going to look at here are basically Chucky with no arm. And now this was an image that was teased again that on the website and that we got to see, but we see Chucky's hair. It looks all scruffed up, it looks all messy and everything. Again, we have the new look and whatnot, and once again he has no arm and he's not bleeding. So again, we're wondering what's going on with this, because we saw in Curse of Chucky he got his head knocked off and he popped it right back on. There was no blood. So has his body not been in the soul? Has his soul not been in the body long enough? Or are we throwing out the continuity that the other films have set out, saying that if you stay in the doll body too long you turn more human? Maybe he has found a way to perfect what Dr. Voodoo taught him all the way back in Child's Play 1. Maybe he's found a way to finally perfect it to where he's able to transfer his soul to the different dolls and everything, and he can stay a doll and he has no side effects. As you shoot him in the heart, he can still come back, or you chop his head off and he can put it right back on. Maybe that's what they're trying to tell us here with this shot. Once again, it looks like it's just been ripped out of its socket or something, and again, there's no blood, there's nothing dripping off, looks like the wound wasn't cauterized or everything. So I find that very interesting. And then with the other image we have here is just another still that was also taken from the actual movie itself, and again it's Chucky with the drill in his hand and he has no arm and it looks like he might be in pain. So maybe this is the scene where someone has ripped his arm off or something and he feels it, but there's no blood or anything, because even in the trailer we don't see any blood, or it doesn't look like there's anything happening to his arm. And maybe this has something to do with the whole demonic arm thing. Maybe he pulls his own arm off because he feels like, okay, the soul is starting to reject this doll body, and he's just gonna slowly have to just start detaching pieces of himself until he puts his soul into another doll body to buy himself some more time. So again, the deformed hand image could go hand in hand with this one. But in terms of images, that's it, guys. Again, my thoughts in general of all of these images. I'm excited for this movie. I'm excited to see what Cult of Chucky is going to be about. Again, Don Mancini has been very, very, very adamant about this film, and he's been teasing his fans left and right about what Cult of Chucky can mean and how we're going to learn about the actual cult itself and what that name means and how it could have multiple meanings, but once we see the film, we'll understand what the cult really means. I don't know. Again, I'm very intrigued about it, but let me know, guys, down in the comment section below, what do you think about these images that I just broke down? What are some of your theories that you have? Are you excited to see the new Chucky film? Let me know. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure you like, comment, and share. And hey, while you're at it, why don't you subscribe to the channel as well? I do breakdowns like these very often, and now that I'm over my sickness, I am able to get back and do this a lot more frequently. So make sure you also tap the bell so you can be notified every time I have a video drop. As always, make sure you follow me on all the social media sites at officialms21, and make sure you go support me on Patreon if you want to see more behind the scenes features. If you want to have a say so on what video topics I do, go follow me on Patreon at ms21. Thank you as always, and remember, as I always say, to become a savage, stay a savage, and peace out, y'all.